Oh, hi guys, didn't see you there. Please do come in.
Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Matt and welcome to the Inky Squid channel. Got myself a new abode. I thought new house, new rules, and decided to switch it up and do something different, you know. Managed to nab myself a man cave. I told the missus it was like a fucking studio or something. But it serves both purposes, so, you know, win-win, right? If you're a pre-existing sub here, you'll probably be thinking, what the fuck is he doing, you know? But my hobbies are YouTube, and they're taking up a lot of my time, and I really need to knuckle down with some of my ink stuff, which is kind of what I want to do as a profession. So I thought, why not, you know, just merge the two together and create content, teach guys how to do the stuff I do, and also create some art that's been so long neglected. I've seen a lot of comic book art on YouTube, but there's not very much traditional crosshatch artwork out there, which, you know, I've always wanted to search for that. I've still got so much to learn, but there's basically nothing. There's basically nothing out there. So I'm hoping to share what I know, and at least that gives people a bit of a head start of stuff that I wish I'd known, you know, 10, 15 odd years ago, you know. So the first video is basically just going to be about materials and equipment that I use, and then some basic techniques that I use to get you started, really. I don't know what sort of format I'm going to be taking it in, but what I do know is it might extend over multiple videos. It depends on how much I cover in the first, and I know me, like, I look back on a video that I've produced, such as these stupid videos.
Welcome to Inky Squid fucking cooks. Just grab yourself some bread, slap it together, throw it on the fucking plate, grab some sardines, slop them down, just like that, be liberal, slap a bit of bread on there and Bob's your uncle. Delicious.
Stupid, right? And then think, oh goddamn, I wish I added that little bit in, or I wish I told them about this. So I'll just be freeballing it basically, and then, you know, you can absorb it at your leisure. So right, anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So this looks oversaturated right now. I know you can't see nothing that's going on, but I've assembled my DSLR into OBS, and then I'll be able to speak to you guys as I'm producing the work and just guide you through what I'm doing, because the best way to learn is to watch someone else do it. Okay, so let's begin. Oh yeah, before we do start the video, I just need to I need to give a shout out to well, this is me and my girlfriend's dog. Jesus fucking Christ. This is little Zenna. She's 6 months as of 2 days ago, so happy half birthday, Zenna. There you go. She's a little Pomsky, so she's half Pomeranian and half Husky, but she's just a little ginger ninja. Yeah. So I've done my end of the deal, okay? It's done. She's interested in my rum and coke. I don't blame her. So I've fulfilled my end of the bargain. Okay, I've done it. I've done my end of the deal. Right, actual video time. Right, so we'll start with the paper first and foremost. This is something that I've used for about 10 odd years now. It's called a Canson illustration paper. Yeah, it says BD. I don't know really what that stands for. Manga comics. All right, it's 250 gisms, which means grams per square meter. And I got it in A3. Now I used to do it in A3, like the whole picture with a sort of an inlay of about an inch and a half, and I'd spent ages like crafting, you know, a giant picture. Realised I got about 3/4 through it, and it was just a laborious task to try and complete one, because you sort of, once you've seen it kind of almost there, you're just like going through the motions really, and you just want it to see it completed. You kind of lost the love of it really. So what I've decided to do nowadays is to still use A3, but I'll put it in little borders of, again, an inch and a half, but I'll have 2 images across, so I can do 2 pictures on 1 page, and it just keeps up the pace. You know, it's it keeps it fresh. It takes, well, half the time to complete them as well, because no one really cares about how big the image is. All they really do care about is what the content is of it. Okay, I'm just going to put this down to the side for a second. So if we have a look here, I'll zoom in. It's a heavy gauge paper, as I said. I don't know if that picks up the grain all that well on there. Kind of, yeah, you can see there's some texture to it, and I find this sort of paper the best really, because it just draws the ink out and sort of has something for the nib to grab onto. I've been suggested in the past Bristol board and things like that, and I just find it too smooth. Just doesn't hold the ink all that well, in my opinion. Something like this, you know, it's super thick paper. I don't even know if you can really see it there, but you can hear it. It's like cardboard. It's great. It's good stuff. So how much more can I talk about paper? You know, it's pretty sad. It's like a guy working at a cardboard factory. The Simpsons, I'll put that in.
Many interesting and important things have been put into boxes over the years. Textiles, other boxes, even children's candy.
Do any of these boxes have candy in them?
No.
Okay, so second of all, what you'll need is a pen and nib. Here it is. Here's the one I use. It's pretty dark, but it's quite dark actually. Let me just move it across here so you can have a better view of it. It's a little bit better. So you've got the nib here, which you buy separately. I've actually got quite a few of these because I'm pretty bad with keeping them clean. So I just toss them out whenever they get rusty and start bending. Let's say they're quite fragile little things. Obviously it has, if you see there, a little tiny hole. That's your ink well, and then all the ink sits in the top here. Magic. It's pure magic. They're great little things. This one's called the Hunt 102. You can get other different ones that hold this pen, which the pen holder's a crow quill. There'll be links down in the description for all the things in this episode. But yeah, I find it super detailed work is perfectly fine, but also it has the flexibility in order to create a thicker line, you know, thick enough that I want really. Okay, so yeah, tiny little thing, but does all the big work. Okay, second of all, you need something to plot out, and this is just your standard mechanical pencil. I've got more expensive ones, but you know, a pencil's a pencil really. You just buy extra nibs for these things, just slot them in, and then you know they just extend out like that. They're not particularly very good if you wanted to do like shading and things like that. Let's have a go here. You know, it's good for, you know, marking out things, things that you need. I don't know what this is. I'll start drawing something phallic if I keep going, I'm sure. It'll do things like that. But if you're trying to do some fine art stuff, you know, where you have to shade and things, you know, obviously you're not going to get any decent shading going on there at all. This is purely for planning, plotting, generally sketching out the design ready for your ink work. Even has a cool little rubber at the end, but you know, who uses those things when you've got this bad boy? Not really necessary to have it in a pen form. You can just use a standard kneaded putty eraser, or just, you know, even, you know, just a normal standard eraser really. But this thing can extend out. You know, it's just got it's better for detailed work really, because you can really get in there and you can rub all this stuff out. I say this paper's so good as well. It's so resilient to anything. You can just keep drawing on it, rubbing it out, drawing on, rubbing it out. You know, it's not going to crease. It's not going to you know, tear, which I've had that experience many a time. Okay. Also, what you need is a ruler. That does help a great deal, especially for sort of the borders, and also perspective lines, which I might get into a little bit later on. And obviously you need something to apply onto the paper, and this one here, oh, that's not very good lighting, is it? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Right, well, you know, it's just an ink pot really. This one's the Winsor & Newton Liquid Indian ink. I've been through many inks in my time, and I'd be lying if I said this was all the same ink. It's an amalgamation of all sorts of different inks that I've acquired along the way. I would be careful to avoid very plasticky, sort of sumi inks. I got this one ink one time. It's like Plastidip, if you've ever seen those adverts and things, where, you know, once I've drawn the picture, I could just literally probably peel away the whole image, and it would just be this big plastic floppy mesh.
So I'm going to work my way down this quarter panel here. I'm going to follow the lines down, and then I'm going to start pulling it down as I go.
It's quite a cool idea, but you know, that's not what you want really. You want something with a bit of permanency, and liquid Indian ink, something with a lot of good pigment. So, you know, money is a factor in this circumstance. Good stuff, you know, like well, Winsor & Newton, obviously, like this one here. There's like, I think it's Kuretake or something. I'll put a link down for a few good inks there, but I'm sure this has got about 4 or 5 inks in there. It's an Inky Squid special. So yeah, the only things I would probably avoid from previous experience is things like Parker Quink. It's more of a calligraphy type ink, cheap, on the cheap side really. And also I noticed after a few years it would go brown, which is rank really. When you're looking at your picture, it's so disheartening to know in a few years that it's just going to fade away. You know, even if it's a bit of light exposure or something, it's just going to bleach it. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is for materials really. The only other thing is just, you know, a good kitchen towel to mop up spills, which do happen on the frequent, and also to clean your nib, you know, just to dry it temporarily, things like that, just to go downstairs for the loo or something. And a spare bit of paper as well, just to see if the line works once you've dipped it in the ink, because there's nothing worse than dipping your ink in the pot, not seeing that there's a little bobble of extra ink on the bottom of your well, and then you go to write and it just goes plop all over your picture. Now that's happened too. That's happened many a time actually. It's really disheartening.
Covering some 600 square miles of the Gulf of Mexico, and it could start reaching the United States coast within hours.
And that will happen. You will get spills and mistakes. I wouldn't just jump into a fine art piece, you know, straight off the bat. I would experiment, get a feel for the pens. There are many different pen holders, sizes, shapes. There's a good website which I'll link down in the description, which is scribblers.co.uk. They've provided me with all sorts of stuff. I don't know what you'll get in America, probably a lot more different specialist stuff. But yeah, it's all about just experimenting. This is the stuff that works for me. I'm comfortable with it, and I know what I'm doing with it. And you've just got to find your little set, your little arsenal of drawing materials. Okay, well, I think that concludes the materials section. What to do with them? That'll be the next one. So bear with me a moment, and I will go for a poo. Be right back. Okay, so we're back, a couple of pounds lighter, and ready to talk about my art, the most pretentious, narcissistic part of the tutorial, if you can call it a tutorial yet. So, what are we going to be working on? What's our focus of these tutorials? Right. So obviously, you got this far, but you're thinking, God damn, if he shows you something like a stick man or something, I'm clicking straight off this thing, giving him a big dislike. So I'll just show you what I've been creating recently. Already obviously done the first image here, and this is going to be the focus of our tutorial. Really, this is the one that we're going to be focusing on, and hopefully getting it finished by the end of the series. These pictures, it's going to be a set of 12. I don't know why I set myself such a high goal. Why can't I just do one and be happy with it? But no, 12, because it's based on Carl Gustav Jung's, did I say cool? Carl Gustav Jung's 12 archetypes. And so this picture here is called The Lover, which I'll show you in a bit more detail later on. But she's ripping her heart out, maybe in a negative sense, or giving her heart to another. Could be taken two ways, hopefully. That's what would be seen in it. I'll dissect the image in a minute. And then we're going to be focusing on this one here, which I've forgotten his name straight off the bat. I'll have to find out for you in a minute. But it's sort of like a wisdom type character, so he's like a library, like wise kind of archetype. You should check out the 12 archetypes and the collective unconscious. It's something quite fascinating. Got a book on it actually. I'll have to find that in a minute as well, and show you that. I'm not going to read the whole thing, obviously. It's not an audio book, but yeah, go look at that up. I've forgotten what it's called now. It's just called just you know, it's like the Red Book. I believe it's called the Red Book. But yeah, fascinating stuff, and it's inspired me to do these pictures in an attempt to, I don't know, finally make them into some sort of card deck or something like that. Just sort of an art deck rather than of any like purpose or game or any real meaning other than just sort of an art piece of, you know, a card that you can sell and buy. Hopefully, that's the plan. That's the big plan. So yeah, so let's unclip the camera, and I'll guide you through this first image here, because that one's the only one that's been completed so far. So I'll just spend time just adjusting the focus on this thing. Okay, can I get any closer? This is about as far as we're gonna get. Okay, so oh, demonetized already. So yeah, so you can see basically a lot of texture. I took the archetypes, and obviously being Inky Squid, I focused it underwater, like old ancient ruins and sort of monoliths and crazy old ancient stuff. You know, stuff that I like. You know, stuff. I was trying to go for like an underwater sort of Geiger, like from like H.R. Geiger, the person that did Alien, character design for Alien anyway. I do try to add as much detail in my pictures as possible. I want people to really, you know, look in and see, you know, study the picture and see all the little bits that are going on. Obviously that's her heart. She's dragged her heart out. There's lots of runes on her and things. I don't know, it's something about sort of runes. you know, old Nordic ancient scriptures and stuff that just add a sense of mystery. And this little chappie over here, some sort of little modern day submarine that's come down, just like James Cameron, and discovering these things possibly for the first time. And here it's his, basically a little story, his adventure through the sea, discovering these giant monolithic archetypes that I don't know if they're necessarily real. They're just they could be sculptures or biomechanical. That's up to interpretation, really. But they're big ass sculptures, and they're displaying sort of an idea. So yeah, there's that one. Lots of things to look at. I'll tell you my process and how I can come up with those shapes and things, and a little bit later on. Okay, so obviously this one is the one we're going to be working on. It hasn't been finished yet. You can see a lot of pencil work, but this is exactly how I did my previous one. This one's going to be like wisdom, wise. I've forgotten. It could be like just knowledge based kind of dude. You can see what I've done already. I've done a lot of little squiggles and there's books and those fish again. Not zoom in so much. There we go. Just little corals and rocks and interesting shapes that I found fascinating. There's the same ship there right in the centre. Just discovering this, and this is obviously the same Nordic runes from the previous picture, but it's I think the headdress of this one says something. It's a Carl Gustav Jung quote. It's just been converted into runes using a website, and I thought they looked cool. They're good shapes. Lots of P's and R's and F's and things. It just looks ancient. I mean, they are ancient Nordic runes, I suppose. So they do. I thought they look cool. If anyone can, because I've forgotten what it says. If anyone can piece together what that says again, that would be quite helpful, because I don't remember the quote. So yeah, you can see here that I've used that mechanical pencil just to sketch out an idea. There has been perspective line. I've used the ruler to just get a sense of size and scale. This picture, unlike this one over here, has just been it's just there we go. That's about. Whoop. There it is. This picture uses a different set of perspective lines than this one. This is more sort of central. So yeah, that's pretty much the project that I'm going to be starting. Go check out Carl Gustav Jung. He's an awesome psychologist. And yeah, okay, on to part 2. Obviously you can click off of this now if you realise it's a load of garbage, so you know this is your time to escape. It's your time to escape. Alright. Okay guys, so that concludes the second part. I didn't realise I was going to be dragging on for so long about paper and pens and stuff, but there's a lot to cover. I still didn't get, as I said previous, I didn't get anywhere near scratching the surface. no pun intended. What I'll do is I'll probably talk more in depth about stuff as I'm actually inking things, which will come up in the second episode. So if you like this format, if you like where it's going, suppose hit a like. That would be great. Comment. That would be even better. And subscribe, because yeah, got a lot of good stuff to show you, and got to figure out that camera, but I'll make it perfect for the next video. Alright, take it easy guys, and I'll see you in part 2 for actual inking on an inking tutorial. So that'd be sweet, right? And no dogs allowed.